Very good morning to you all. Baie welcome, warm welcome to you. Today is the 23rd of February 2023, and always please remember to press that like button, share and subscribe. Today's topic is called alert and ready. Are you alert and ready for what is about to happen in the year of 2023-24 following? And of course, in closing, I'm going to discuss decision time on the way forward. What I'd like to do is to start off by just sharing some interaction that I'm always encountering about Rob, stop spreading fear. You and the Southlanders or Southland Defence are spreading fear, and you're getting your members ship increases and making money. It's not what it's about. We are showing hope for our people, and we are realistic. Yes, we are believers, but we're realistic, and it's very, very important that in the personal capacity and in our businesses that the power of association is important. Remember, we all have a ministry, we all have a calling. Some are mechanics, some are doctors, some are soldiers and businessmen and similar, but at the end of the day, and some of us have various ministries. One of my ministries is to share with you what I know, and if I'm not sharing with you what I know, I'm at fault. I'm at fault with myself, I'm at fault with my family, and I'm at fault with our Creator, God. So I need to share with you what I know, and it's an ongoing process. So let's understand that what is ministry. I've just shared with you, we all have a ministry. Now, one of my ministries is to share with you, as I've mentioned, what I know and what is coming. Now, I'm going to speak some deep stuff today, because we have a natural defense mechanism built in. We just keep to our own worlds. We close off. We just don't bother ourselves with our neighbors. We don't bother ourselves with what's going on in the community or in the country. We just do our own thing. I suppose there's good reason for that. But at the end of the day, I'm going to try and bring some realism to you all that are listening, to the viewers. And please comment. Tell me, Rob, you're lost. Tell me, Rob, you're spot on. But let's get thinking. Let's get talking. Let's start commenting. And for those that are keeping quiet and always say there's a solution, let's hear your solutions and stop being quiet. I'm going to start off by talking about the heavenlies. And being a believer, we all know that in the heavenlies there's angels and demons. Do we agree or do we disagree? Now, in the heavenlies, do you think for a moment there's no spiritual warfare taking place there? Of course there is. The angels are there busy fighting the demons. That's how it is. The word says that. So if that's like that in the heavenlies, let's be honest. It's the same in the natural, down here where we all are. If we go back 2,000 plus years ago, and we look at the faith and the action, and I always like to look at the David and Goliath scenario. You know, David prayed before he went up against Goliath. But what was the action? The action was his slingshot. That was the action part. And that's where he got God's favor, because that stone went straight to Goliath's head. And then the following action was he removed Goliath's head with a sword. So there's faith and action. That's where the favor comes in. Now, there's a lot of confusion amongst us believers here in South Africa and worldwide. I'm kept told to keep praying. Rob, keep praying, keep praying, keep praying. And God will sort the rest out. Now, the word tells me that faith by itself is meaningless. You need to put action with the faith. And that's why I'm using the David-Goliath scenario. Now, if you look at the word back in that day, 2,000 plus years ago, it's alive. as the word is alive today, and as the word will be alive going forward. And this is what I want to read to you. I'm not preaching, I'm sharing you my ministry. I'm sharing you the word that comes to me, that you get it. That you're not going, that you don't walk through life with your eyes closed and asleep. Forgive me if I'm using some words that's going to agitate you, but I have to speak to you as it comes. So I'm going to read to you Matthew 24, verse 6 to 8. Correction, verses 6 to 13. Right, verse 6 goes as follows. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. 24 verse 7. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places, like the Turkey earthquake 2 weeks back. All these things are beginning. All these are the beginning of birth pains. Then you will be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all the nations because of me. Verse 10. And at that time many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other. Isn't that what we're experiencing today in South Africa specifically? And many false prophets will appear and deceive many people. That's what we're experiencing every day, all over, in all walks of life, in all sectors. Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. Spot on. But he who stands firm to the end will be saved. Now, in your comments, talk to me. For all the guys, and I'm going to talk to the pastors as well out there, and the dominees out there. I want to hear you talk to me. I want to hear your comments. I don't want to hear silence or experience silence. Start commenting. I want to see if I'm on track, or if you're on track, or who's not on track and who's lost. Right, so let's look at today. Is there an attack against Israel at the very present? Yes, there is. Now remember, if there's an attack against Israel, there's an attack against God. Is there an attack against us, minority groups in South Africa, by the ANC and by the EFF and the BLF and similar? Yes, there is an attack against us. So if there's an attack against us, there's an attack against God. Now I want to share a few experiences that's been shared with me over the past week or two and three, since my last video. I have a business associate. His name is Nico. I won't mention his name. And he was on his way to the OR Tambo airport to catch a flight to Cape Town. And on the way to OR Tambo airport, he was forced off the road by the police and questioned and pushed about. And he just said to me that by the grace of God, he was alone, but he came out alive. And I asked Nico, why did you not report this to the police? So he says, well, they're not going to do anything. They're rogue. The police force, nobody's got faith in the police anymore. So that's one incident that took place in 2-3 weeks that I know of close association. And then an elderly black man spoke to me in a restaurant, and we spoke about the politics in the country. And he said to me that the reason why the good blacks, the good South African blacks, and let's call them, let's say 90% of the good South African blacks, why don't they stand up against the 10% radicals? And the question, or the answer given to me was, Rob, we are just too scared. We are too scared to stand up against our own. So there you have it. It's coming from an elderly black man. And he's well positioned in the public services. And then I spoke to another waiter, because I like to speak to the waiters, especially the expats. You get a lot of information from them. And I said to him, let's call him Brian. Brian, what's your view of what's going on the ground? And he's there in Mamelodi, and he said to me, Mr. Rob, civil war is coming. I don't want to say it, but I'm saying it to you, it's coming. Us Zimbabweans are very, very scared, especially with this mandate that's coming up in the end of June that they must go back to Zimbabwe. He also shared with me that in Sunnyside, there's Nigerians running that part of Pretoria, and the South African blacks don't go to Sunnyside, but there's a mafia there too. So everywhere you've got mafias. You've got mafias in Mamelodi, you've got mafias in Pretoria, specifically in Sunnyside with expats from Nigeria and Malawi and Mozambique. So it's all over. And he said to me they've all got firearms, and he said that civil war is coming. He just doesn't know when it's going to happen. And then on another front, a close business associate of mine mentioned that he knows he's going to lose everything and that he needs to start over. He knows it. And look, he's very wealthy. And he said it can't carry on like this. He's a man of the faith. And that's it. He can see what I can see. He can see what Colonel de Toy can see. And he can see what all the Southlanders and Southland Defence people can see. And that's why there is that power of association. But when this is all going to come down, nobody knows, because this is in God's hands. Right, so that is the introduction. Let's go to the latest news. I read the recession warning for South Africa. This is by Bloomberg, dated the 13th of February of this year, 2023. And it goes as follows. The probability of a recession stands at 68%. Say 70%. 70%. Up from the odds of 45% in January. That's last month. Almost double in a month's period. According to Bloomberg's latest monthly survey of economists, the poll was conducted from the 3rd to the 9th of February, with 6 economists responding to a question about the chance of a recession. And it's 70%. Load shedding likely to persist at least for another 2 years with no solutions. And of course, the electricity crisis is costing the country around 900 million per day. Now work that out. And this is according to the South African Reserve Bank. It predicts that electricity will be rationed for 250 days in 2023 of this year. And that will be a record, but it's getting worse. Look, we're standing at load shedding 6, but I'm sure we're already at load shedding 8, if not at load shedding 10. We're not going to be told the truth. Over the news, we pick up that the employment rate is at 60% and increasing. That's more than 2/3 of our population. They don't have work. They're off grants. You know that it's 18-20 million that are living off the SASSA grants and other grants that's in the system. But yes, we're 2/3 of our population that have no work. Inflation is running at 7% year on year. And of course, the unions keep on striking and wanting to bring the country to a standstill because they're not happy with their 3% wage increase and looking for more. So your supply and demand, it's heading for a crash. If we look at the latest crime statistics for the period 2022 to 2023, we look at attempted murder has gone up with almost 25%. Attempted murder. Shoplifting with 23%. Common robbery at 21%. Common assault at 12%. But let's look at the serious ones. Murder has gone up by 10% in a year. It's increased. Now, I remember I gave you statistics. I think it was 60,000 murders per annum. Now you can add 10% to that for this year. Truck hijackings, 10% increase. Remember, these are all increases. Burglary at residential premises, 7.5%. And then let's look at the more serious stuff. Sexual offences, they've gone up in 1 year, 40%. Drug-related crime, Sunnyside, I'll use Sunnyside as an example. It's a high crime drug area, 18%. An illegal, this one is a red light. Illegal possession of firearms and ammunition, 16%. Increase from last year. It's increased. Looking at Eskom, you all know that it's got its own minister that must overlook a board of directors, and the board of directors must overlook the CEO, obviously who has resigned in March, but we hear now from the media of yesterday that it's been cut short. So get your generators. Oh, by the way, put your generators on trailers so it's mobile. Everything now must be mobile. Your personal mobility and your business mobility must get mobile for the year of 2023. But more detail on that later and in future videos. The outgoing Eskom CEO, Andre de Ruyter, says he won't consider extending his contract due to the appointment of the electricity minister to the presidency, but also because of the corruption, as we've learned on the videos yesterday. They went out last night, I think. And of course, they're blaming Andre and his colleagues for undermining the ANC and destabilizing the ANC through the Eskom failures. Okay, they don't take blame. Again, it's blaming the whites for the failures of the state. If you go to the EFF, two important things. This is the national shutdown that's scheduled for the 20th of March to close off all business, schools. The whole show must come to a standstill because of Julius Malema. And you know what? Let's see if the state is going to allow this to take place. Let's see if the appointed political authorities overseeing the soldiers and policemen that have signed a code of conduct and an oath to protect people in the businesses is going to allow this to happen. Right, in media footage that went out on the 21st of February of this year, 2023, we see the Deputy President of the EFF, Floyd Shivambu, openly declare that this government is going to be overthrown by military means or any other means possible during the course of this year and next year, 2023 and 2024. Have you got that? Remember, the EFF are very disciplined. They've got the youth on their side. The ANC haven't. They are corrupt. There's a split in the ANC and the RET forces. And like I've said to you before, don't be surprised if the EFF join the RET forces. That is the Zuma faction and the Ace Magashule faction. And let's not exclude Karel Niehaus. Also, Shavambu mentioned that they are going to use the Cuba. Remember the Cuba liberation in the early 60s, if I have that right, where hundreds and thousands of civilians cheered their leaders for liberating them. So if you look at the EFF here, we see they've adopted the Mugabe model, and they're also looking at the Cuba revolution with Fidel Castro. That's their plan of action for this year, 2023, and up to the elections in May of 2024. I'm very exact with the dates because it's important for the recording of history. Also, the Deputy President of the EFF has emphasized on the recruitment drive for this year, that every member of the EFF must recruit 15 new members to make sure that they get their million plus supporters. From the 21st of February of this year up until the elections, scheduled elections in 2024 on the 8th of May 2024. Right, so that's a lot to chew on in the last few weeks on social media and also in mainstream media. Some of the stuff is truthful, but you can make your own analysis. Right, so let's look. Did we as a nation, as a folk, did we turn away from God? Now you answer this question for me in the comments. I opened up with Matthew 24, and I want to just ask you, have we turned away from God? Yes or no? Why are we sitting with this mess? And for those of you that just want to pray and pray more and without the action, I'm saying to you, are you realistic? Do you read the word correctly? Do you need to pray for God for wisdom so that you know that you need action with the faith? Now, remember now, when we turn away from God, we allow the evil one in. But the evil one comes with 7 times more demons. Demons all over. In Eskom, in the crime, with BE, the list goes on and on and on. So our attitude has to change. We are going to have to ask for wisdom, so the situation turns for the better for us. The time for braaivleis and brandewyn, brandy talk is over. You're going to need to do something for your children, for yourself, for your family. Make yourselves mobile. Make your businesses mobile. And then, of course, I come to the closing. What's the way forward? The way forward and the decision is that you need to join a group like us. We have solutions. I've just mentioned quickly to you the mobile solution. Now you know your own life, you know your own business, you know what to do to make it mobile. But on a personal front, the immediate thing you can do is join an organization like the Suidlanders, if you are a civilian, and if you have ex-forces experience, to join the Suidland Defense. And of course, you know what to do with your business. You know how to implement an immediate solution for your business. Business is usually medium to long term, but start it. You've only got this year of 2023. And of course, power of association. Start looking after your own. Start employing your own. And your own will make sure that that economic wheel turns, that you survive, there's food on the table, and there's a way forward. And I'm talking specifically to the farmers. The farmers, listen to me. Start getting your show on the road. Start seeing what's happening. Start getting your plan A, B, and C in place, and get things ready to look after your people. Just do it. Right. As always, take note that we have a national emergency plan initiative that works when all fails. And you see it on a daily basis, with electricity, with the politics, with the racial blame game, etc., etc., down to our children at the schools. Furthermore, please remember that 10-10-10 principle. Just share what you know with 10 people and ask them to share what you know with 10 people with specific reference to our videos. Stay well, keep safe, and keep sharp. Tot ziens en groete. And my next video that goes out will be in Afrikaans again. Thank you, and God bless.